Before we begin, in the spirit of reconciliation and respect,
the InkGuild acknowledges that we live, work, and play
on the traditional Treaty 7 territory of the Blackfoot Confederacy,
the Siksika, the Kainai, and the Piikani nations, as well as the Stoney Nakoda and the Tsuut'ina nations.
This territory is also home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3,
within the historical Northwest Métis homeland. Finally,
we acknowledge all Indigenous and non-Indigenous to honor and celebrate this territory alongside us.
For anyone who wants to make any apologies to their friends or family who will be who will be listening to any of this, please do so now. And firstly, I'd like to apologize to everyone that I know and love. I am so sorry for everything that is about to happen. I'm not sorry for the thing. I'm not sorry for the content that we write, because this is supposed to be bad. But, yeah, it's going to be a lot.
I'll apologize. I'm sorry to all my friends and family who are going to watch this. You knew I was awesome. Now you get to really fucking see it. The narcissism's strong tonight.
I'm gonna say I'm sorry to my family. Don't watch this episode. And to my friends, well, I feel like most of you already knew this was coming, so.
Gabe, Brooke, any apologies?
I am sorry to Masahiro Sakurai for what I'm about to do to your IP and no one else.
I don't think anyone I know will watch this, so it's fine. Y'all already are here. That's fine. I'm going to apologize to myself because I hated writing it.
That's also a mood, honestly. Yeah.
Mood, yeah. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey there.
Bonjour.
My name is Dean, and welcome back to the InkGuild Podcast. Just go to fucking therapy.
Don't correct me. I don't care.
Need to start a revolution.
I'm going to fucking explode if I don't say this by now.
She would challenge them to double dutch.
I'm going to summon up his spirit to fix all of this up for me.
you didn't have good enough tea and or comic books, so.
And you know what? I'm gonna say it.
All of them are fucking idiots.
Simply everyone is taking cocaine.
Just say your morning routine.
You're replicant remake.
I'm so excited to find out if Jughead got abducted by aliens or not.
Boneless.
Is your refrigerator running? Better go get it then.
Oh my god, what
the fuck?
I hate that.
Craig, can you read my erotica? That voice was smooth.
Now recording.
Now recording.
Now recording.
That would be so much more disturbing if he sounded like that.
Can you imagine a like fucking GPS like that? Every direction was just that slow. You missed the turn before I say turn left at Montgomery.
Stop.
Oh my god.
What? This art I'm about to do is purely performative. I have 2 good accents planned. Get ready.
I feel like this is the one episode where like this is to be expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear. All right. So I should have done that in the beginning actually, but now that we have a little bit of a precursor to everything that we have, or now that we've gotten everything out of the way, let's start with dirty type.
Here we go.
Do you want to explain the scoring we're doing and do your preamble?
Of course. So for everyone listening, we are going to be scoring these in 3 categories. And I'll let Tyler kind of explain it like from here. Basically, for each of our stories, we are going to be recording, or we're going to be scoring it based on its comedy, based on its cringe, and base decks. So Tyler, take it away.
We got 3 categories. Each category going to be at a 10 because simple numbers. Cringe, how cringy the story is. Really self-explanatory, entirely biased upon the listener. Comedy, how funny the story is. Guess what? It's entirely biased, and it's unintentionally or intentionally funny, doesn't matter. And then the coitus, on how actually sexy it is. This one's the wild card. It detracts from the total score. So if you get a 10 out of 10 on coitus, damn was your story sexy, but that was not what we were going for today. Then the score will be tabulated up out of 20, and then I'm going to say we're going to probably average the scores between the different judges, and the winner gets shame.
Feel free to leave your own scores in the comments below.
There's the plug. Nice. Yeah, and then I'm going to hit someone with the trophy eventually. Whoever wins.
Mm-hmm. So I've got going. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Go.
All right.
Sex, baby. Let's talk about you.
Just take a sip of thing.
Are we going to get copyright strike for that one?
The bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex.
Should I design like a Pornhub style intro for this episode, Dean?
No.
I could do that. Like the intro I made is pretty okay, but it's not got that, that sexy jazz vibe.
Please,
I could swing that.
No. I appreciate it. I appreciate the thought, but please don't.
We put the opera music in the background.
We need like dollar store Careless Whisper playing.
What?
Everything comes from the entire Careless Whisper comes from a harmonica. That's safe.
Oh.
Ooh, we should do the Pornhub intro, but played on like a shitty flute.
Oh my god.
The recorder?
Yeah, whatever. The shittier flute, which I'm pretty sure is a recorder.
Anyway.
Sorry to all recorder fans out there. I'm being divisive again.
Not.
All right. Are we ready to start now?
Hit us with it, Dean.
Right over the head.
Okay. So this is dirty type. As a bit of a preamble before I start reading it, I didn't like the idea of writing 2 people having sex because I don't like sex scenes, so I came up with something else. And I hope you guys like it. Okay. So, dirty type. Past midnight already? Master takes their seat in front of me, their moist lips glistening in a sultry, steaming gaze fixed on the screen above me. They lean back in their chair, slouching to their left side slightly. Their fingers rattle against the desk I rest on, their glare twinkling with impatience while I catch their hand sinking below my line of sight. I smile. Well, aren't we impatient? So, what will they look up this time? What will get them going tonight? Sticking with the usual lewds and nudes, Master? If so, from where? When their cold, shaking hands caress me and press me against myself, TWITTER tells me they're open to anything tonight, perusing through dozens and dozens of smutty images with curious, lustful eyes. But Master knows what they like. They know who excites them the most. So, ONLYFANS is their safest choice. Their tried and true, the match to an open flame. There's always that one lewd cosplayer that they follow that uploads daily. If Master chooses them tonight, then Master will tease themselves too. Slowly, quietly, they'll expose their chests, sliding their hand downwards like a melting ice cube. Sorry. letting their imagination take over. They've yet to touch me, though. Master takes in a deep breath of air. On their exhale, their necks shiver, shaking their head. Their hands rest at their side now, still in an awkward slouch. I know they're still in the mood. They're biting the bottom right part of their lip, just hard enough to leave a mark when they lift their teeth. Is Master not wanting to treat his head and just treat their head? Oh, that's a fucking typo. Well, there goes that. Okay, you know what? We're gonna cut that. That didn't happen. Everyone forget the last 13 seconds. Is Master not wanting to treat their head and just satisfy their desires? A video then? I hope so, at least. As the moaning and groaning of those choking and gagging and gasping are pumped right into their ears, their eyes will then slam shut. Their jaw would dangle on its hinges. Oh, their own breathing arises and plummets faster, 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 barely noticing droplets of their own spit staining their exposed chest, pushed and pulled by pleasure. With a blink and a spark in their eye, they arise from their slouch. Oh? Their teeth still digging into their lip, the opposite corner lifts for a coy smirk. They crane their head to check the door, making sure it's locked. They've made up their mind. What will it be, Master? Their fingers glide across me, their breath shaky but slow, knowing that will change soon. They press me down with the first of a dozen soft whispers. I am yours to obey, Master. They slide their pants down. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, God.
Holy fuck. All right, my God. Holy
okay.
fuck, Dean.
So,
back again.
So, what do
all
we
right, I'm
think?
sending the score. Yeah, that was.
You made me uncomfortable to touch that keyboard. I don't want to touch it anymore. I don't want to type out my answers.
I feel like I fucked that keyboard. I feel like you made me fuck that keyboard.
That was visceral. Oh my God.
Uncomfy.
That's my new favorite review word right there.
Uncomfy.
Uncomfy.
Holy shit. Yeah, so I sent my score, so I guess I could go first because I was writing it up while everyone was working. Cringe, 9 out of 10. I was recoiling. Just thinking of this slutty little keyboard. And oh my God.
Okay, so for those editing, or for me editing, make sure to put all of the scores on the list. So,
comedy, 6 out of 10, was still funny. Could tell it wasn't the main focus, because I think you were definitely trying to make people uncomfortable, and I think you achieved that really well. I was still, like, giggling, but it was like the uncomfortable giggle you do when someone's, like, oversharing their life with you at a cashier's checkout. So yeah, kind of funny. And coitus, 1 out of 10. There wasn't too much actual sex, so not too much actual detraction.
okay.
Guess
All
that
right.
brings it to me.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Cringe is definitely the strong suit here. Comedy, I didn't think it was that funny, mostly because it was just uncomfortable. And again, like, there's no sex, so I don't really have anything to rate.
Oh, that spittle pit, Bart. Oh my god, I'm stuttering. I'm still cringing.
Okay. Brooke, I think you're up
Yeah.
next.
Cringe 9 out of 10. Like from the moment it started, I was doing the like pulled up lip thing. I was like, yeah, I'm like crawling into myself and moving away from my laptop. I didn't want to read it. Comedy 5 out of 10 because it's so cringy. My brain automatically goes hilarious, but I wasn't laughing. I was just in my brain going like, oh god, oh no, haha, oh no, ahaha. Ahuha. And a 2 out of 10 for me because there's enough description of what will happen that I'm like, yeah, okay.
Okay, thank you. Gabe?
Yeah, cringe 10 out of 10. That was a lot. That was so much. Comedy, I'm gonna say 3 out of 10. Not just because I wasn't really laughing. I was just sitting slack-jawed in awe at that whole thing. And a coitus, a horrifying 3 out of 10. No sex happened, but that was. Why did you describe it so seductively? Why did you write it like that? That was so like.
And Dean, what I say, the voice you used,
yes,
perfect.
Yeah, that was
perfect.
That was what did it for me. It was your fucking voice when you were reading it. I was like, why are you reading it like this? I'm going to die. I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
I feel like my keyboard is a yandere now, and she's gonna fucking stab me. Like
I feel like I fucked that keyboard. You made me fuck that keyboard, and I will never forgive you for that. You put that keyboard in me.
No! No! Oh my god, no!
Huh, I'm glad we added the scoring in. This is fantastic.
You know what? I'm gonna change my score slightly.
Yeah, edits are allowed.
There you go. I'll give you a bonus to the coitus because they're right. It was the descriptions were, yeah.
It was the description and then the fucking voice.
I hated the master bit. That was.
Oh yeah. The fucking
the kinky
Yes,
master bit.
Yes, master, touch me. Very awful.
Yes,
right.
master, touch me.
Oh.
Can we play fucking Gardic Phone after this and just draw scenes from each other's erotica?
Control Alt Delete.
Control Alt fuck me, master.
No.
No, stop it!
All right. Fucking tab key.
Oh, okay. Oh my god. Okay, holy fuck. See, okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for enjoying that. I knew it would probably make like you guys uncomfortable, but like the reactions that I got, fantastic.
I feel like my experience might have been slightly ruined because I did read it before this.
Dean, I'm gonna kill you with my bare hands.
Can I get like Can I get text to speech now? You're right. This keyboard looking mighty sus.
Oh my
All right.
God. All right. So for everyone on YouTube keeping a tally right now, here are my results for it. As for everyone who is just listening to it, we're just recording this right now. I don't know what the fuck I don't know what the fuck the total is right now because I'm too lazy to do math, but that's where editing comes in. Okay. So yeah. So that was Dirty Type. Let me know what your own comedy, cringe, and sex scores are in the description below. Or, maybe just cringe and never have to read this again. Up to you. That being said, now we move on to... I'm just going to do a quick recording check. Okay. So now we're going to be moving on to Alex's piece.
Great. Okay. So in the doc I did title it, I hate every sentence in this. Its tentative actual title is Adventures at the Wet Clam Tavern.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
Wait, for a little bit of context, when I play D&D, I often use the fantasy name generator's tavern name generator to come up with names, and the Wet Clam is one that came up once when I was on there, and it stuck in my head, so I knew I had to use it for something.
Oh, you're telling me you didn't use it for D&D?
I did also use it for D&D. But
you let your players go to the Wet Clam Tavern. How did that go?
It was really funny. They were like, are there any like sketchy places in town? I was like, well, there's this one place called the Wet Clam, and they're like, oh, I guess we have to go there.
Oh fuck.
Oh god. Okay, just doing some clicking. Okay. All right, Alex, whenever you're good. Whenever you're good to start.
Okay, this is The Adventures at the Wet Clam Tavern. It was the eve of a beautiful day when Barrett the Brave walked into the Wet Clam Tavern and took a seat at the bar. He was a strong man, with muscles bulging under well-worn armor. As the local hero, Barrett spent his evenings in the taverns, drinks on the house, sharing the tales of his adventures, and more often than not taking a beautiful lady upstairs to his room at the end of the night. After all, who wouldn't want to tumble such a handsome and heroic man? As Barrett finished his nightly retelling of the time he defeated the horrible sea hag, which totally happened, shut up, a lovely woman across the room caught his attention. She had long dark hair and bright eyes lined with kohl, wearing a dress that emphasized her microscopic waist and her voluptuous watermelons. She was drop-dead gorgeous, and she was smiling right at him. Well, this has been fun, lads, but my sword has other interests tonight. Barrett addressed to the room, his eyes never leaving the ladies. So, I think it's high time I retire to my room for the evening. At the mix of booze and tears, he ordered another round of drinks for all, turning them all into cheers, and headed up the stairs. The woman followed a moment later, and Barrett grinned at her as he led her into his room. "Lovely lady, might I get your name?" he asked huskily. "You can call me Candace for the night, Mr. Hero," she promised.
Oh, God.
Then she threw herself against him, her jugs smushing sexily against his chest as he caught her in a kiss. Things got hot and heavy fast.
Oh my god.
The passion flowing between them like a game of catch. He licked into her mouth like a dog lapping up water. Finally, he pulled away.
Okay.
"Shall we get undressed?" he asked huskily. She gave him a striptease, showing off her curvy figure. It was hot enough that Barrett could barely restrain himself from ripping all his clothes off. Finally, sorry. Finally, his swordfish was free. Standing long and tall like the neck of a giraffe.
Oh. Oh god. Okay.
Candace blushed when she saw it. Wow, you're so big. Lay down, sweetheart. I'll make you feel good, Barrett told her huskily. She lay down on the bed, and he got between her legs, peeling open her oyster with his hands and searching for her pearl with his tongue. I cannot read this. He played her like a kazoo, enjoying her mules of pleasure and her fingers tugging at his hair like a shower drain. Finally, she let out a shrill shriek and gushed into his mouth like a gusher's candy.
That's the best thing I've ever
You're amazing, she swooned, her body trembling like helicopter blades. I know, baby, he answered huskily, crawling on top of her like a cockroach. No. I'm literally crying laughing.
Oh my god! This is a powerful piece. Yeah.
He lined up his sword with her sheath, plunging all the way in like a toilet.
I can't fucking breathe!
Candace climaxed again, letting out a scream as her baboinkas bounced.
What the fuck is wrong with
you? What a scream as the baboinkas bounced like balloons caught in a windstorm. Barrett went to town, his train always staying on the tracks, her tunnel welcoming him like a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. He was a gopher diving into its hole, a bungee jumper at the end of his rope. Finally, he sprayed into her like a can of whipped cream.
Oh my fucking god!
She finished a third time, her cantaloupes reaching for him like fans. And who was he to deny what they wanted? Barrett the Brave collapsed bravely next to his nightly conquest, both of them breathing heavily like mammals that needed to breathe. Her rack swelled with lungs with every breath she took, because that's apparently how some people think breasts work. I'll never forget you as long as I live, Candace exhaled, her curvy body sexily glistening like something that glistens. I don't know what, I'm running out of ideas. It hadn't even been a full minute since they finished, but Barrett's dream boat was getting ready to sail her seas once more. You'll never have to, he replied huskily, looming over her like the moon about to crash into the earth. He was an asteroid, looking for somewhere to crash, and he thought he'd just found a crater he'd really like to land in. Round 2, he asked huskily. Tears of happiness welled up in her eyes like tears of happiness. Blow my mind, sailor.
Oh my fucking! I gotta say, Alex, those anachronisms, the helicopter blades, the toilet plunger, that shit killed. Oh my god, that's...
Lord have mercy.
Candace climaxed again, letting out a scream as her baboinkas.
I love how you seeped into it at the end too, tired with your own shit. It was fantastic.
This took me literally forever to write, because I would like write a sentence and then I would have to like stop for 5 minutes to just get over the cringe.
Fair.
Cool. All right. Scores up. Cringe. 6 out of 10. It was pretty cringy, but like not the actual content itself per se, because the content seemed like it was, self-assured. It's cringy because you kind of dipped into the subreddit men writing women, and it worked perfectly.
That's what I was going for.
Yep. Conady, because I was laughing while typing and could not spell, apparently. 9 out of 10. The euphemisms, the anachronisms. Whew. 4 out of 10 coitus, because there was actually coitus. Which is the bare minimum of coitus to be had.
That is true.
Dave, I think you posted next.
Okay, yeah. So, my ratings are pretty much like similar to Tyler's. I think the cringe was there in some places, specifically with like just what is it? I think I love the fucking when you were alluding to this, when you were saying sword and swordfish, that was fucking amazing. And it made me like shrivel up and think, oh god, what the fuck? That being said, the comedy was like my favorite thing ever. It had some of the funniest shit I have ever read, and it's so stupid and it's so silly. And yeah, there was plenty of sex here, and it was I gave it a 3 because just it was there. It was graphic.
You don't think plunging in like a toilet plunger is sexy, do you?
Why are you repeating it?
Toilet plunger.
Oh my god. Okay, so next I think it's Brooke.
Me? Yeah. I'm going with 8 out of 10 for both cringe and comedy, because to me they just kind of go hand in hand, and I feel like this is something I absolutely would have just stumbled upon online and someone thought it was legitimately good, but it's just so cringy that it's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. And a 5 out of 10 for the coitus. Yes, it happened.
50% on the coitus. Damn.
Yeah.
Glad to know someone's into the toilet plunger.
No!
Why are you specifying the fucking toilet plunger? Are you
Apparently the toilet plunger does it more for Brooke than the master bit from the keyboard. Damn.
No!
No!
Oh god. Oh, all right. I think Gabe, then you're up.
Yeah. Cringe is a 5 out of 10 for me because it didn't really like make me cringe. It conceptually did because it was like men writing women, but it was super self-aware, so it didn't make me cringe. Comedy was a 10 out of 10. That shit made me laugh so hard. My throat got fucked up again. I'm gonna have to dip out for a second after this to get more. I'm all good. Coitus was a 5 out of 10. Sex happened a lot. I don't know if it was sexy.
Oh my god, I just forgot the fucking Fruit Gushers TM. Oh my god,
that's my favorite. That's my favorite fucking.
Y'all ever bite into a girl and it's just like a blue Fruit Gushers? Damn.
Oh, bro, all the time.
What's the line? Bucket and a mop for that wet ass Fruit Gusher? Mm.
You know when you hold boobs and it's like a bag.
He was
of
a
sand?
gopher diving into its hole, a bungee jumper at the end of his rope. Finally, he sprayed into her like a can of whipped cream.
God, like a can of whipped. Was there like a hissing sound too? Like a.
Did you have to shake it first?
We were talking about him playing her like a kazoo, because that was one of my favorites.
There's just so many. There's so many good ones.
Yeah,
I love your title of this because it fits perfectly.
We have to give credit to fucking peeling open her oyster with his hands and searching for a pearl with his hand.
The
Oh my-
imagery makes me think these two are not human.
It's my goal was to parody like the men writing women stuff, because like sometimes the like analogies they use or like the euphemisms make you go like, do you know how anatomy works? Have you ever had sex?
I just read another one. Things got hot and heavy fast, the passion flowing between them like a game of catch. Go long, son! Yeah, Dad! I don't know if you've ever played catch, Alex, but hot damn, that is not what ends up happening. It's good. It's fantastic.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Oh.
Yeah,
What are-
that's
What are some of my other favorites? I think they had already been mentioned, but like I love the little shade thing. I love the little shade thrown with the microscopic waist and voluptuous watermelons. I wonder if you're referring to an anime you hate.
that wasn't intentional. That's just how women are often described in stories like this. I don't know if anyone else caught this, but I never used the same word to describe her breasts.
True.
Yeah, her
True. But you did use huskily a lot.
Yeah.
That was also intentional.
Yeah.
He looked into her mouth like a dog lapping up water. That's gross.
That
That's
Disgusting.
gross.
Hate that.
You're welcome.
Jesus Christ.
Bleh.
See, I achieved what I set out to do, which is write something really disgusting that I never want to read again.
And it'll be immortalized on the internet.
I never advocate for burning books, but that could be burned, and I wouldn't bat an eyelash.
Print it out specifically to burn it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
All right. Any final thing? Any last minute comments? Okay. I had a really fucked up transition. No, I can't say it. I can't bring myself to it. No.
Do it.
Do it.
Say it.
Say
Okay.
Say it.
So now, moving on. Okay, wait. Everyone, now that we're done with Alex's story, let's keep things wet by moving on to Brooks.
I guess it works. Like, great. Content warning. Monster fucking.
Just big siren horns, just.
Big siren horns. Brooke's a monster fucker. Let's go.
No! Maybe little. Anyway.
What?
You can be a little
Moving
bit
on.
of a monster fucker as a
Did she
treat.
stutter, Dean?
Huh?
Did she stutter?
Dean, we're all allowed to be monster fuckers as a treat. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, honey.
Tree.
Oh God.
I'm gonna read now.
All right.
Kalani stepped from the shade of the tree line, bringing a hand up to shade her eyes on the sunlit beach. Her feet sunk in the shifting sands, feeling like they were wrapped in a warm towel. She glanced over her shoulder at the girls seeing her off. They smiled sadly. I hear the pleasure makes you so tired you don't even realize you're drowning, Shay whispered to the others. Kalani didn't hear anything further. She headed towards the setup near the shore. A massive burgundy rug with a red love seat sat atop it, and torches flickered in the dampened light of the day. A soft stone path leads up to the area from the sea. Kalani swallowed nervously and sat down on the edge of the love seat. She licked her dry lips, wondering how long she would have to wait. If it was more than a few minutes, she might bow out and scuttle back to her village in shame. A burbling from the ocean made her jump. A few meters from the lapping shore, a circle of bubbles glowed gold and brewed larger and larger. Was that a swell of tense music she heard? Her heart hammered. A head emerged from the water, silky black hair, thick eyebrows, deep-set eyes, sharp cheeks, and a jawline to cut. Then the rest of the man followed. Pale, almost blue-green skin stretched over broad shoulders, rippling pectorals, and shining abs. She almost drooled at his massive biceps. Then the surprise came. His lower half was a mass of tentacles, like a squid or an octopus. One can't remember how many limbs either creature had, but it was clear he had a lot, and he used them almost up completely out of the water, locking eyes with her and moving up the stone path. Kalani stood nervously, picking at her nails. He neared, and she noticed how his eyes were the same dark blue of the sea, ringed with the hue of sea foam. She also noticed how he towered over her. She was only 5 foot, and he looked to be at least 6'4". Oh my. I am Lord Octavio. I look forward to our time together, he rumbled, sounding like he had gargled salt water. Guess he had, but she thought it was hot. I am Kalani, the one who volunteered for your service. His thick eyebrow quirked. Volunteered? She swallowed thickly and was about to reply when his laugh halted her. Oh, an eager one. Lord Octavio approves. You, my sweet starfish, are in for a treat. He bowed, taking her hand, rubbing circles over the back of it with his thumb. Kalani blushed red. He leaned down, lips brushing her ear. He smelled like cooked crab drenched in butter. Delicious. I'll have you gasping like a fish out of water soon enough. She breathed quickly. Already feeling heat rising in her torso, he looked deep into her eyes and she was swallowed into the trenches. Are you ready, volunteer? She nodded. He shook his head. Use your words, little turtle. I'm ready. He clashed their lips together and she felt like she just got dunked into the salty ocean. She gasped for breath and he let her, for a moment, before pulling her back in and resuming passionately. The feeling was overwhelming, but then she got used to it, no longer feeling like she was drowning, but like she was floating in embracing waters. He hoisted her small form up into his arms, her legs instinctively wrapping around his waist. Some of his tentacles slithered up and caressed them, making her shudder, but in a good way. His hands started massaging as he held her up by her ass, and suddenly he broke the kiss, twisting his head to get at her neck. She panted slightly as he started running watery kisses up and down her neck, from ear to collarbone, nipping along the way. A tentacle slowly shifted up her leg until it teased the fabric between her legs. She felt overwhelmed at the suddenness of it all, but she knew it was exactly what she'd signed up for. Octavio sucked on her neck and her toes curled, pinching the sand stuck between them. Oh yeah, she'd signed up for a good reason. The teasing tentacle was joined by another, easing the fabric away from her throbbing lower parts, already anticipating. Then one slipped in, parting her delicate flower petals and making her bounce back. Sorry. At the unusual but pleasant sensation. It was hard, yet soft, stiff, yet flexible. Her flower pulsed as Octavio maneuvered it inside her, enticing low moans from her, which he swallowed with his own mouth. Something poked her leg, and she broke his lips hold to look down. She was almost surprised to see he had a regular human's member. He smirked at her expression and then he dropped her on the couch, leaning over her, tentacles pulling her legs open and pinning her hands up. Yes, darling, I'm truly the best of both worlds. Then he was inside and she cried out. The ocean lapped in time with them, slow and steady at first. Then he rapidly outpaced it, oscillating so quickly she felt like wiggling jello. The sea cucumber pumped in her, making her squeal and feel like an inflating pufferfish.
Oh my god!
She reached her peak and screamed, but it was cut off by a slimy appendage jamming down her throat. She saw stars as he took her from both ends. He grunted and pulled out, ocean foam squirting across her face and chest. They both panted, staring at each other. He grinned wickedly, caressing her leg with his hand. I'll let you take a little break. I'm sure this is unlike anything you've had before. Kalani couldn't agree more. Regular men were so disappointing. But she felt relief collapse her body at the allowance of a break. She felt tingly all over, and when she brought a hand to her head, realized she was now sticky. Everywhere. She breathed heavily, eyes to the sky, sinking low into the plushness of the love seat. Her mind replayed the moment since Octavio had stepped from the sea in all his glory. A fire flickering near her head caught her eye. She caught her breath. A bead of sweat dribbled down her neck, and she finally noticed how damp her entire body was. The aroma of heated body liquid wafted up to her nose, and she realized she smelled like deep-fried tempura. Her mouth was gushed with saliva, and her stomach rumbled. Stop! Octavio, who was sprawled on the sandy rug across from Kalani, took it as an invitation to get back to business, and his hulking form slid back over to the love seat. A tentacle snapped out, wrapping around her torso and hoisted up her limp form. I'm having trouble speaking. Hold on a second. A tentacle snapped out, wrapping around the torso and hoisted up her limp form, suckers puckering her skin. A shiver of hungry anticipation rippled across her sticky body, a wash of cold excitement offering relief from her scorching hot core. She was also just legitimately hungry from that tempura smell. Maybe she'd take a little nibble from one of Octavio's appendages. That idea made her smile, which he noticed with a cocked head, smirk in place. Eager, he purred questioningly. Kalani returned to smirk. Always for you, deep daddy.
Oh no! Oh no! No! Oh my fucking god!
A gurgling growl rippled from him in pleasure at the name, and he yanked her legs apart with his suckers and roughly penetrated with a smooth tenty without warning. Her form She gasped at the wet, ripping sensation and shook at the pure pleasure of it, ovaries quivering and sank.
Oh no! Oh my god!
That's my good little calamari. Take it all in, he growled. Swapping a smooth one for a ribbed one, she cried out, head thrown back. He chuckled lowly, wrapping his hand around her throat. Her core tightened, inner oyster clamping around Octavio's bit. His other hand clamped onto her voluptuous coral reef boobs, massaging into the sheer fabric of her dress. Within her, he found the sweet spot, targeting it. Kalani wanted to scream but had no breath to do so because of him. Every pore seemed to drip with a tantalizing feeling of release drawing near. He knew it and slowed down, leaving her tilting on the edge. Please, please, she whines, so quiet Octavio almost doesn't hear her. He smirks, drool pooling in his smile as he takes in her state. He moves in for the kill, pushing her over the edge in intense spasms. He lays her back down on the love seat again. Her juices bead along her lips like an oyster-producing pearl. She groans, sinking between her legs and begins lapping it up. She jumps at the sensation, still coming down from what he'd just done, but he gives her no break this time, lapping with his ocean tongue and sneaking one of his little tentacles into her clamshell. He holds her legs open, hands bracing her hips. She latches onto his forearms, unable to stop her nails from digging in. Her back arches, head pushed into the cushions, trilling much like a dolphin as she sails his waves of pleasure. His appendage curled inside, tantalizing every tender inch of skin and nerves. She moaned, her clam opened wider for him, making him reciprocate and enter deeper with a growl that rumbled into her core. Leg shaking, she reaches the crest of the wave once more. His member had risen again at the show, and he sat down at the head of the love seat, sprawling his arms out across the back of it to show all his glory. Kalani, finally getting to the swing of things, took him in gleefully. She could appreciate an attractive god. She heaved herself up and crawled over to his lap, swinging a leg over so she straddled him. He grinned and went to grab her hips, but she put her hands on his biceps and stopped him. She locked their lips and started slowly brushing her entrance along his tip, tantalizing, laughing like the waves at the shore. She felt his breathing getting heavy, and he kissed her aggressively. Oh, he wanted it! She smiled into the kiss and slowly sunk down. He sucked in a tight breath and she started moving. She rode his surfboard, allowing him to grab his hips finally when he drove in. The ride seemed to last forever, their hearts pounding in sync, their bodies pressed together, sticky like glue. He reached his peak and bit into her shoulder. Her flower pulsated with the pollination. They stayed connected, catching their breath together. She suddenly realized that they were laying in the shallow waters of the ocean, the water caressing her legs. It is time, little starfish, he whispered in their ear. She swallowed heavily and nodded. His tentacles crawled along the sand, pushing them out into deeper waters. They submerged slowly, still joined as one. Kalani thought she would feel scared, but she just felt calm and satisfied. She rested her head on his shoulder, and he gave her head a pat. He pulled her hair slightly, making her look up at him, and he grinned and locked their lips, simultaneously pulling them fully underwater and off the shallow shelf. She held her breath as they sank, but it was hard when he was kissing her like that, forcing his tongue in and swiping it along her lips. She breathed. Startled, she broke the kiss and took another breath. Yes, she could breathe here. He watched her come to the realization in amusement and caressed her face with his fingers, his tentacles swarming the rest of her body. She smiled at him excitedly. He had chosen her. Their fun was only just beginning.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
The fucking ocean puns on point.
Amazing.
Yeah, you really.
If I hear the word clam one more time, I'm gonna.
What about oyster?
Clam and oyster, same breed.
Holy fuck. Deep Daddy?
Oh yeah, Deep Daddy. That. Deep Daddy.
Huh.
Deep.
Okay.
Deep Daddy.
Don't moan it anymore.
Deep Daddy.
Me out.
Oh.
That was really good.
Just like randomly before I give like the score a bit. Holy shit! The like little bit of world building and lore, sacrificing herself to an ocean god and then being able to breathe after coitus. You set up a sequel and like a bit of world building. What the fuck was that?
I don't know. I thought that was what we were doing.
It was fantastic.
Thank you.
Score. Yeah, 8 out of 10 on the cringe. A couple of those sucker bits really made me shiver. Comedy, 9 out of 10. Just, yeah. The way you dropped between, like, the break parts where there weren't, like, too many jokes and then jumped into just hard, rubbery description was great. And then coitus. I think this is, like, 3 times heavily described sex. So there was a lot of coitus. Good. Fantastic. I like how her friends just watched her go get railed on the side of the ocean.
Oh no! Oh my god, that had wait.
And I assumed there was some like privacy.
No,
like, it
no,
was like a ritual setup.
it wasn't thing.
No,
It was
it's
just
just
specified. I'm changing
chilling
the
there
cringe to a 10.
I mean, technically speaking, if you can see the setup from the tree line, her friends could have stayed and watched, but I did just like picture them going back to the village because they didn't want to interfere.
Mm.
Man, wouldn't you want to know if a friend was about to go through something like that?
Yeah, I was about to say, they probably did stay, let's be honest.
Shay seems like a little shit disturber. She definitely watched. She had a camera.
Jay is always watching you.
Oh, fuck. I would ask one last thing before I finish up. Can I ask character motivations? Why the fuck would Kalani go do this if she was going to be drowned afterwards in her mind? I want to know what the fucking motivations are. And if it's just to get railed by an octopus, that's okay.
It's literally just get railed by an octopus. Like, she'd been disappointed by the men in her village. She's like, I want some good fucking.
But you think you're going to drown afterwards? Is
Worth it.
really that good?
Worth it.
Worth it?
What the fuck?
Doesn't matter.
Valid motivations.
Yeah, I did.
Sex, you know? Just want a little bouncy. A little calamari time.
Oh, all right, I'm done. Gabe.
Yeah, cringe. That was a lot. That was Jesus Christ. I think it was good. Like it was sort of the same thing with Dean. So it was so much more like seductively written that like it added like to the cringe factor, but the comedy that made me bust a gut. That was hilarious. Deep Daddy made me bust a gut, made me bust a nut.
Stop saying no. Oh my god.
Top tier. Look,
We need to find someone who will call Gabe Deep Daddy.
No!
Oh.
Unrelated. Is it gonna fuck with Craig if I change my Discord nickname?
Do it. Do it.
I'm not going to. I just want to know. You know, just
Do it.
What do you think of being Deep Daddy?
Octavio, the Deep Daddy?
I swear.
Do it.
Again, now I want fan art of Octavio, the Deep Daddy. So anyone who's listening,
To all of our fans, either a few years from now or just, maybe spur of the moment. First of all, if you do that, we'll pay you. Because you put in a lot of valuable time and effort to do that. Thank you. But also, I'm sorry.
I'm not going to pay you shit. Your reward is a job well done. You got to draw Octavio, the Deep Daddy. That is reward enough.
Wow, so you're rewarding our artists with exposure?
No, a different type of exposure.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, there, Kool-Aid man, calm down.
Okay, were you
Okay.
going to finish your explanation of your scores?
Yeah. So for mine,
No,
Pretty
I
much
said
every-
Gabe. Gabe.
Oh, yeah, sorry, Gabe.
Your last one.
Oh, coitus. That was the same thing. That was the same thing as the cringe thing. That was it was written in that way, quote unquote. Also, Deep Daddy. I just have to go back to it. That's all I gotta say. Dean, you're up. Dean, go. Dean, it's your turn. Dean,
Okay.
go.
yeah, so
Say
yeah,
your
okay,
Dean, go. It's your turn.
okay.
Is it my turn next?
I mean, I posted.
Alex, go.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
Okay. Cringe. Yeah, it was for me it was the pet names. Like calamari, little turtle, little starfish, Deep Daddy, of course. That really sold the cringe. Comedy. I mean, like, yeah, there were some really, really funny lines, like riding the surfboard, but I thought overall it was it was not as funny as some of the other ones so far. Coitus, there was a lot of it. It was very descriptive. I've seen less descriptive in like, yeah, I've seen less
Where have you seen less descriptive, Alex?
in like explicit fan fiction.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
So yeah, high coitus score from me.
Damn it.
I think Brooke has the highest coitus score so far.
I think so.
That's
Okay.
so
So
pretty graphic.
very, and that's why that's why my coitus score was at 9 too. Just Jesus. That was vivid. That being said, the cringe, I think what sold me were the pet names like Alex mentioned, especially Deep Daddy. Like I felt my spine freezing over when I heard that. The fucking the relay she was now sticky everywhere. Ugh, that's a disgusting image. That being said, the comedy in it was top tier. It was really, really funny. Like, it's just humans member. I think that like there were a lot of really good things there, like wiggling jello. Slimy appendage is more disgusting and cringy than funny, but that's really funny.
See, but that's also the kind of thing you could find in like an actual serious tentacle story. So
yeah, that's my good little calamari. That's the funniest and cringiest thing I've ever read.
also, we haven't talked enough about her being like smelling like calamari, like fried calamari.
Like
Taking a nibble. She wants to take a nibble.
I think my fucking brain
I need to take a nibble out of
the
Octavio.
sensory image of smell for this one
Oh,
because you used smell a lot,
Yeah.
and my brain just blacked out each time it came up. It was that visceral.
Sorry. I probably just ruined calamari and crab for all of you.
I'm gonna go to
I
Fusion
already did
one day. My
Fusion.
parents are gonna order calamari, and I'm like, get the fuck away from me.
Get out of here.
Gabe, I have a request.
Yes.
I've highlighted a line in Kalani in the Ocean.
Okay.
Can you
hang on.
read it in your Davy Jones voice
Oh, okay.
for Octavia,
Yeah,
a live
that'd be
adaptation?
Okay. I'm just reopening it. Give me a second.
I can just copy it to chat if that's easier.
No. Yeah, just do that. Do my Google Docs taking a second. Okay. That's my good little calamari. Take it all.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah, that was about what I had hoped for. Oh,
Oh God.
God, anyone who doesn't know what we're doing is just gonna see this quote out of context and be like, what?
I have already gotten a message from Lee being like, well, those are some titles.
I'll need to read them.
It is gonna be so interesting trying to clip this for social media.
You're going to have so many good clips for TikTok. Don't even. This is fantastic.
How much of it's not gonna get like censored by the algorithm?
It's okay. I'll just say, writing spicy stories. It's spicy. They don't know what the algorithm doesn't know what that means. Everyone else does, though.
Oh, fuck.
Oh my God. Okay, have we all composed ourselves?
Sure.
As composed as I'm going to be for this episode.
Okay. Well,
I just want to make
Tyler.
this clear that I also suffered while writing that. I had to stop.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I remember. I remember you telling me that. Like, oh my God, why did I write this? And I'm like, how naive I was at the time.
Every second I spent writing that, I died a little bit inside.
Yeah, Dean, this is probably like the most like sex scenes you've ever read in your life.
All at once, too. Shit.
Jesus Christ.
Am I wrong? I'm just curious.
You're not wrong at all. I hate fucking like reading or like
yeah, we know you hate fucking.
Hate fucking.
Hate fucking.
Oh my God.
No
Okay.
fucking on this chat.
Oh my God. Okay. Whew. All right. Are we all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm composed. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good too.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, Tyler, it's good that you're composed because you're up.
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Oh no.
All right.
Yeah.
So, a bit of preamble first. My writing career started in erotica way back in high school. I used to do commissions for friends and things. It was a hell of a time. I've lost most of the early works. But when I sat down to work on an erotica piece for this, I found it very hard to go, say, Alex's or Brooke's route in actually going into the descriptions, because I found myself going back on old habits. And felt like a bit of an injustice to me to write something like that, so I wanted to change it up a bit, and Lee actually gave me the foundational idea for this piece. It's a bit more comedy than it is sexy. It's also wrapped in 2 framing devices, and it's way longer than it probably needs to be, so get ready for a lot of this voice. Welcome, everyone, to Observation Report number 69. John Harrow, Senior Translator and Analyst, United States Air Force. Location of transcription, Homey Airport. The following is a translation of an electronic report found in the Roswell incident on July 8, 1947. Due to the advanced nature of the recording technology used to create this file, proper analysis has not been available until now. Despite this file being found in 1947, the date attached to it is February 14th, 2022. Happy birthday, Dean. The date being a recording of the Earth's position around the sun, as opposed to any human date format. This is the added bonus that all timings within the report are quite exact. Translator's notes are included to explain certain aspects of the translation necessary for coherency. Translation begins. 7:47 a.m. The male awakens before the female and sits on his transfixiation box, determined to be a cell phone based on corroborating evidence, for 22 minutes before climbing from the bed, awakening the female. 8:09 a.m. The male goes to the body cleaning chamber, determined to be a bathroom, and proceeds to stand up swim. This is a direct translation. Actual data suggests he had a shower. The female, now awake, sits on her phone for 13 minutes. 8:21 a.m. The male leaves the shower. 8:21 a.m. The female enters the shower. The male grabs the female's waste expulsion orifice as she passes. The female strikes the male on the shoulder, doing no visible damage to his exterior. 8:22 a.m. The male picks up the same clothes he wore yesterday, shrugs, and puts them on. He then stays on his phone for an additional 10 minutes as he walks around the bedroom. 8:26 a.m. Operator number 1, the name of the operator is untranslatable, positioned beneath the bed, finally connects their listening device to the observation room, giving the researchers audio. It is noted that the female is making noises in the shower. Cross-referencing shows that she makes these noises regularly, and most of the researchers believe her to be producing some form of music. Audio recording attached. The attached audio recording is of a female voice singing "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion over the noise of a shower. 8:32 a.m. The male travels out of the room, and researcher number 1, again, the names are untranslatable, believes he is going to a different room to gather food for the female. Researcher number 1's theory is proven correct when the male returns to the bedroom with a small plate of cooked fetuses 12 minutes later. These are believed to be eggs. The female is still in the shower. 8:46 a.m. The male, having finished eating some of the fetuses, begins to speak to the female. Audio recording attached. The attached recording is of a male voice saying, "Hey babe, if you don't get out now, you're going to be late for work." Male and female will now be referred to as such in any following commentary by the translator to keep this report succinct. 8:46 a.m. The female responds. Audio recording attached. Female. "But it's so cold." 8:46 a.m. The male responds. Audio recording attached. Male. "These long-ass showers are why the water bill almost doubled last month, you know." 8:46 a.m. The female responds. Audio recording attached. Female. "You can't prove that." 8:48 a.m. The female exits the shower and re-enters the bedroom wearing a towel. The male creates a high, shrill sound with his lips. Audio recording attached. He's doing a typical wolf whistle. The female once again strikes the male, doing no visible damage. It is uncertain whether this is a sign of aggression or not. Researcher number 2 believes it is a form of social dominance. The female then begins to eat the fetuses as well. 8:51 a.m. The female checks her phone, then proceeds to inhale the fetuses she was ingesting. It is unclear if this was intentional. She speaks to the male aggressively and then begins to get dressed. Audio recording attached. Female. Choking on an egg. "Holy shit, why didn't you tell me it was almost 9? 8:51 a.m. The male is silent at his mate's clear aggression, continuing to stare at his phone. Researcher number 1 suggested it's because he's been shamed by the female, and any response would warrant further striking and aggression. Researcher number 3 disagrees, and proposes he is staying still and silent to pretend not to have heard the female. This tactic has supporting evidence from scientist number 1. This individual is regarded with some reverence, probably a lead researcher in the field of human studies, and is used as part of what Scientist 1 calls gaslighting. 8:53 a.m. The female, now dressed, leaves the bedroom. Given the regularity of the timing of this occurrence, she will probably not be back for another 8 to 9 hours. The male continues to sit on his phone for another 47 minutes. 9:41 a.m. The male stands from the bed and then vocalizes before falling partially to the ground. It is clear the female's striking has had an effect on him after all. He is in a large amount of pain and has begun rubbing his hand on his lower back. Audio recording attached. Male. "Fuck!" He then lays on the floor for 4 minutes. 9:45 a.m. Now healed from his attack, the male stands and leaves the room for 127 minutes. Researcher number 2 remarks on how quickly humans can heal from such injury, the male recovering a full 3 minutes faster than his previously recorded attack 2 days earlier. Researcher number 1 theorizes that repeated attacks may actually strengthen the male to future assaults, and once again suggests collecting a test subject. Admin number 1 refuses, as always, restating our purpose as an observation group. Oh, one moment, I need water. This is going on way too fast. Where are my poor vocal cords? 11:52 a.m. The male returns to the room in possession of several items. He arranges the fabrics on the bed so that they are aligned with the body, then places the items on the bed. Of note is a symmetrically shaped container, approximately 14 inches in length, that is pointed at the bottom and rounded into 2 partial hemispheres at the top. He then proceeds to spread the torn apart remains of some flora that is not native to the region over the bed. Researcher number 3 theorizes that he could not have traveled to the region where said flora is native in that short of a time span, given what we have observed of human technology. And as such, he must have traveled there at some previous time in preparation for this clearly ritualistic destruction. Or he just went out and bought them. Researcher number 1 then states that this be some kind of religious practice to have required this much consideration. 11:55 a.m., the male then sits at the nearby larger transfixiation device. We believe this to be a desktop computer, places his neuroconnector on his head, most likely headphones, and proceeds to stare at it for the next 213 minutes. Reason behind this practice vary. This time it seems to be for the purpose of raising the male's aggression. An audio recording has been attached displaying the male's heightened emotional response to the computer. Male. Fucking hackers. Why can't these devs put in an anti-cheat? It's been 3 fucking years. 3:28 p.m. The male gets up from the computer, goes to the bathroom, and releases wastewater. He then returns to the computer. 4:30 p.m. The male's cell phone begins to emit a terrifying noise that sends the observation room into a panic. Worrying that this means his device has detected the presence of operator number 1 stationed beneath the bed, admin number 1 makes the call to terminate operator number 1. The researchers in the observation room share their last farewells and sentiments with operator number 1, as he puts, "The terminology here is confusing, as we do not know these extraterrestrials' physiology. The closest we can approximate is some kind of acid or poison that operator number 1 was instructed to use on themselves as suicide to prevent capture." As operator number 1 quietly shares with us his last wishes, the male stands from the computer and then turns off the noise. The observation room is tense, as the male goes over beside the bed and removes his clothes. Researcher number 2 nervously suggests that perhaps this is a sign he has realized operator number 1's presence and is preparing for combat. However, the male then selects a different set of clothing, puts those on before exiting the room. The observation team is relieved, and operator number 1 ceases. The translation is incomplete, but we can assume that the operator was doing their species approximation of crying. 5:12 p.m. At Admin 1's direction, operator number 1 comes out from his station beneath the bed to get a clearer picture of the items on the bed and send it into the observation room for further study. Operator number 1 reports that there appears to be glyphs on the object. Researcher number 2 asks for a copy of the picture to study in their languages department. Picture attached. It is clearly a heart-shaped box of chocolates. 7:34 p.m. The female and male both return to the bedroom at the same time, a rare occurrence. The female stops as soon as she enters and covers her mouth. Researcher number 3 proposes that she is preventing herself from eating the refuse from the destroyed flora. She turns towards the male, and it is clear that she has begun leaking water from her eyes. Previous data suggests that she is upset with the male. This is further justified by her wrapping her arms around the male, attempting to subdue him to commit further harm. 7:35 p.m. The female is more upset with the male than previously assumed, as she begins to press her ingestion orifice. We're just going to simplify this to mouth for the rest of this translation. Against the male's face. 7:36 p.m. The male begins to reciprocate the same mouth gesture as the female, and then the two press their mouths together while undulating their tongues. Previous assumption about the female's carnivorous intent is discarded, as this has been noted as a clear sign of affection in previous data. Researcher number 1 states their confusion at human emotional responses. The rest of the observation team agrees. 7:41 p.m. After performing the mouth press for several minutes, the male begins to disrobe the female, at which point admin number 1 calls for director number 1, as we may be about to witness the rare human reproductive ritual known, from what we can tell of human language, as fucking. The observation room is filled with anticipation. It says a lot about us as a species that the first word extraterrestrials pick up when observing us is a swear. 7:42 p.m. The male has difficulty removing an article of the female's clothing. The female removes it herself a moment later. 7:43 p.m. Now the male begins to remove his own clothes, rapidly, until completely naked. The female then begins to mouth press. The translator believes this to be their terminology for kissing. Across the male's exterior, she ceases at the male's reproductive strut. I took sex ed over 20 years ago. I'm just going to translate the genitalia from here on out and hope my directors aren't 12-year-old boys who can't handle the word penis. It is approximately 5 inches in length, reportedly rather small for the species. Did I just get insulted by an alien? The female then begins to ingest the male's penis, and from what we know of human anatomy, this must be an extremely painful process. This is further shown by the male's vocalizations, which are clearly signs of pain. Audio recording attached. The sound in the recording is exactly what you expect to hear. I'm not transcribing it. 7:54 p.m. After a lengthy period of ingestion, the female releases the male's penis and then strikes him with enough force to send him to the bed. Researcher number 2 is appalled as the male crushes the container on the bed beneath his body and comments that this must be a deep affront to the religious ritual efforts of the male. The female then gets on the bed and sits atop the male's face. Director number 1 arrives at this time with their team, and they crowd around the observation monitors. Researcher number 3 comments that this seems to be a strangulation tactic employed by the female, and considering how quickly humans vary between different emotional states, no one argues. 8:11 p.m. The female seems to be suddenly in immense pain and vocalizes loud enough that it maximizes the threshold on operator number 1's equipment. Sadly, it seems the recording cannot be salvaged. I am deeply relieved I did not have to hear that. And after the vocalization, the female collapses onto the bed, breathing heavily and seeming to be struggling to stay alive. The entire observation room is silent as we watch to see if the female will survive her ordeal. The male seems fine despite the strangulation attempt. 8:12 p.m. The male gets up from the bed. His back is covered with a brown substance that appears to have come from the religious offering that was destroyed beneath him. He goes to the bathroom and washes it off. 8:13 p.m. The female recovers from her near-death experience and has now opened the destroyed offering. She begins to ingest the strange brown squares within, despite their crushed condition. 8:14 p.m. The male returns to the bedroom and shows a sudden urge of aggression. His practice is paying off. He jumps onto the female, who is still holding several brown squares that then fall to the floor. Admin number 1 contacts operator number 1 and orders them to retrieve one of the squares for analysis. The male and female have begun mouth pressing again as the male lays atop the female. 8:15 p.m. The male sits up from the female and puts his penis into her. I'm including the following direct translation for posterity into how the extraterrestrials' language works. No other reason. And puts her penis into her strut receptacle. It should be noted that the strut receptacle appears to be a second mouth of some form between the female's legs, though its purpose does not seem to be for ingesting as we understand it. Regardless, the act seems to cause the male and female great pain, as both begin to vocalize. Audio recording attached. No. 8:17 p.m. After 2 minutes of pain vocalizations, the male appears to go into a seizure and removes his penis from inside the female. A strange substance propels out from the penis, seeming to come from nowhere, and lands on the female as well as the bed. Director number 1 grabs we believe the machinery referenced here is some kind of communication device, but there is no sure translation, and orders operator number 1 to collect some of this discharged material for analysis. Operator number 1 protests, stating they have no proper container for liquid samples. Director number 1 repeats their order, telling operator number 1 to collect it with their... Again, our lack of physiological knowledge prevents direct translation. Suffice to say that I hope the poor operator never figures out what they had to collect. Let's just say hand to make this easier on me. And transport it to their operating base or face expulsion from the research expedition. 8:18 p.m. The female seems upset with the male again and says something to him as he lays down on the bed. Operator 1's hand is seen from underneath the bed. Operator number 1 collects the requested sample in their hand without any indication of the male or female noticing them. Audio recording attached. Female. Really? Is that what you meant by the betting of a lifetime while we were at dinner? 8:18 p.m. The male responds. Audio recording attached. Male. The bedding is fantastic. Thread count of at least 450, and it was covered in petals and chocolate. Don't tell me you've gotten that more than once in your lifetime. 8:18 p.m. The female strikes the male again, this time using one of the feather-filled sacks on the bed. From what we know of a human law, this is a terrible crime, as humans differentiate between attacks with and without a weapon. The male once again seems to take no notice. Researcher number 2 states that the male's ability to endure physical pain must be exceptional. 8:19 p.m. The female rises from the bed and goes to the bathroom, where she washes off the strange material given to her by the male. Admin number 1 commends operator number 1 on their quick performance in acquiring the sample. 8:21 p.m. The female returns to the bed. The female and male both go on their phones for 16 minutes without exchanging any vocalizations. 8:37 p.m. The male gets out of bed and turns the light off in the bedroom. Researcher number 1 activates thermal imaging so the team can continue their observation. The male and female stay on their phones for an additional 7 minutes before the female vocalizes. Audio recording attached. The female. Love you. Good night. 8:44 p.m. The male responds. Audio recording attached. The male. Love you too, babe. Happy Valentine's Day. 8:44 p.m. The male and female join in another mouth press before separating. 8:53 p.m. Vital sign monitoring suggests that the male has gone to sleep. 8:54 p.m. A mechanical sound is picked up by operator number 1's listening equipment. Researcher number 3 describes it as if something is rapidly oscillating or shaking. The female can be heard vocalizing quietly, and thermal imaging suggests she is getting warmer. Audio recording attached. Suffice to say, she finished the job. 9:01 p.m. The mechanical sound stops and the female begins to cool down. 9:13 p.m. Vital sign monitoring suggests the female is now asleep. Translation ends. Obviously, this transcription existing in 1947 is impossible. There were no cell phones, no computers, and it was unlikely there were any vibrators of the magnitude suggested by the audio recording. The only explanation for this document containing current timing and information is that this file is still somehow connected to the observation room and has been since 1947. This means that as I write this, some extraterrestrials have just watched and reported on a couple having Valentine's Day sex. And I'm honestly not sure how to feel about that. Regardless, I have done my duty in transcription and analysis. It is clear that the extraterrestrials are studying us, but it seems they have been making poor headway, and are as deeply confused about us as we are about them. I'm sure this says a lot about the nature of sentience, but that is for a philosopher to think about, not me. For now, suffice to say that they are peacefully collecting samples from us and don't even know what they're collecting. Peace should be easy to broker so long as we don't challenge them to a pillow fight or give them a friendly shoulder tap. Senior translator and head analyst of xenolinguistics, John Harrow. Fuck, that was longer than I thought it was.
That was very
Apologies,
long.
everyone.
Long. No, don't apologize. It's all good.
It was good.
That was sick.
I wrote that in 2 hours. God, how did I manage?
It's impressive.
Cool.
It's a very fun piece.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's not as very har as I imagined while writing it. Seeing a lot of low cringe, and I understand.
Yeah, I think cringe, like it's when the dude is explaining the translations and stuff that adds to it, where you're like, oh, he's, it's the very analytical, I guess, alien observations that add to the cringe for me. Also the comedy, and also I think the translators little inputs, like the no, I'm not gonna, you know what this is, I don't have to explain it, is very funny. Coitus, it's there. It's not very detailed, but it's there, so solid 2. Yeah.
2 for 2 minutes.
Sure. I mean, the first part that was 30 minutes or something, so there's that. Was it? No, it wasn't. It was 10 minutes. Whatever. 15 minutes, something like that. Regardless, that's my score. Brooke.
Cringe like 1 out of 10. I especially compared to like the rest of them tonight. I wasn't cringing during this. I was just sitting. So comedy, like 4 out of 10. I was mostly amused by like mouth pressing because it just made me think about mouths doing push-ups. And I did actually enjoy some of the no, I'm not translating that. It was 2 out of 10 because it's so like distantly observed. But it happens.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Mm-hmm. Is it me now?
I think so.
Okay. So, cringe, I gave 7 out of 10 because just anyone having to, like, the entire scenario of, like, some of researchers, like, observing all of this. Jesus Christ, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like having to, like, translate someone's unknown, like, observations when they don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just, and, like, it's a really interesting concept. And that's why I think like overall like the actual presentation of it is really interesting, but in terms of like, you know, being a bad erotica, yeah, it was still pretty cringy because that whole scenario is like thing, and I found it hilarious when it was like the 8:48 a.m. He is doing a typical wolf whistle. That one actually made me laugh a little bit. Comedy is 5 out of 10. There is some good bits in there, like again, doing the wolf whistle, the little bits where they're just so confused, they don't know what's going on, or the researchers and observers don't know what's going on. That's really good. I think like that aside, like 2 out of 10, yeah, the coitus 2 out of 10. It's there. It's very fast. No one, like, we know what's going on, and it's nice to see that like these aliens are just like, what the fuck? What's going on here? So I like that. I really like this. Okay. That's it for me. Gabe?
Gabe's muted?
Gab?
Hey, sorry.
Hey, Daddy!
I'm sorry. I'm back.
Oh wow.
I'm back.
That's a sentence.
Yeah, I just had to get some water. I would say for me, my thing was the same as Brooks. I didn't find it to be that cringy. I was like, there was no part where I was like, it hurt me. It didn't. Comedy. I had a wholesome chuckle. And coitus. Am I coming through?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. The coitus was there. Maybe. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna change that a little bit. I'm gonna change my. Because there was coitus. There was a fair bit of coital descriptions. But yeah.
God, my piece was dry compared to all of yours. I've realized that when everyone was reading, and I was like, damn, everyone went really wet and saucy with this. I took a completely different route.
Don't worry about it.
No, it's
good to have like variety.
Yeah, like it's the kind of bad in the bad erotica where it's like,
You want to know what I was looking for? I was looking for David Attenborough describing two animals mating in the wild and channeling that.
Mm-hmm.
I just need. We'll just get a whole separate redub, Tyler, of you reading the entire thing in an English accent.
Can't do an English accent for that long. Otherwise, I might.
The male awakens before the female. It's on the transmission. I can't either. There was an attempt.
Not in my wheelhouse. Unless you wanted me to do a very shitty dwarvish Scottish this whole time.
Yeah. Why didn't you do that?
If we're gonna do
8 pages,
hold on. I'm gonna find a line that I would want you to read in that accent. Where is it? Here. 7:45 or 7:41 p.m. The female at which point. So the female at which point Abner 1 calls for drug. We are about to witness the rare human. Yeah, so from there, everything up until fucking.
The female, at which point Admin 1 calls for Director 1, as we may be about to witness the rare human reproductive ritual from what we can tell of human language known as fucking. I went a little Australian at the end there, but
Australian.
Unexpected. I can't usually find my Australian accent. Why did it show up here?
I have a
shy.
Poof. Sorry, everyone, for the dry Britishism humor in here. But
No, it was good. It was good. Very like a really creative approach.
Sorry, what, Brooke?
It's because it's bad erotica.
It's not a bad story, but it definitely doesn't fit the erotica. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
No, yeah.
qualify as bad erotica.
It's bad erotica.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's really good. I like
We're
this.
becoming recursive.
Anyway.
Time for a deep daddy.
Don't say that.
It is.
Oh God.
He changed his name. It's deep daddy.
I know, and people see it too. But Jesus, that's a fuck. Okay, all right,
Let's go deep daddy.
all right. That's all right. Yeah, that's the
That's a
transition.
different sentence. That's a different sentence.
Oh my God.
That's a different. You
Okay,
can't.
wait. I have
You are
wait.
correct.
You can't say a verb before deep daddy. That makes it sound like it's a different sentence. Anyway.
I need to
No.
wait. Hold on. I need to change the fucking. This is a mess.
There's
What?
always going to be a mess. A sticky mess.
A sticky,
Oh my
wet,
God.
hot, moist mess.
Moist oyster purling mess.
A moist
Guys.
mess of slime.
Shall we let Gabe get started?
Like Gengar.
Dematrix, let's get it started. This is Mouthful. This is Mouthful Mode.
Wait, are we
Wait,
doing
we're
Mouthful?
reading. I thought
Which
we
one-
were
which one
reading
do-
Not Cinema Didn't Come.
Which one did you want me to read? Which one do you want me to read?
Not
I will
Cinema
read
Didn't
either
Come,
one.
and then Mouthful Mode can be after. Or that could be closing.
Okay. I will read Not Cinema Didn't Come.
Okay.
This is and then I will read. Okay, so yeah, so Not Cinema Didn't Come. It's actually weirdly, it's kind of similar to Tyler's thing. This takes place more at a cerebral level. This story takes place all in the brain. So, Dean, if you have the thing open, you'll see all the characters list. Those are all the brain things that will be interacting with this story.
Okay. Just gonna make sure everything's here.
This is my favorite part right here.
Inexplicable communist agenda.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, I'm going to be doing different voices for each of the.
Here we are, folks, on the red carpet at the grand opening of the Custonian Criminology Museum. Tonight's premiere exhibit is a rousing look back at the exploits of Mystery Incorporated.
I like you.
And here they are.
The thought bounces back and forth across the walls of your skull. You look at her, desperately trying to speak, and she's looking at you, waiting for you to say something. You've been sitting here in all but utter silence, waiting far too long now, the only sound cutting the palpable sexual tension between the apocalyptic incantations of Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. And just what exactly are you waiting for? The right moment could not better present itself. It's not like you're going to tell her you're in love with her. You're not in love with her. You're just in like with her. And you want to do sex things with her. So you tell her you like her, move in for the kiss, and then figure it out from there. You're beautiful, is what you want to say. Simple, elegant, but with implication. The words fumble around betwixt your fool's tongue by the time your brain catches up with your lips. The words have already left your mouth. You ask her if she wants to make out with you, but you slip up and replace the word out with fuck. Red alert! Red alert! You fucked up! Time to bail! Leave her apartment now! Change names! Leave the country! Start a new life in the Mongolian steppe! Become a throat singer! Join a mercenary company! Die in a shootout with the Russian military! Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Come on. You can do this. Don't listen to the stress center right now. Since when has he ever done you any good? Look at her. She's laughing. Oh, that's right, you think to yourself. She's human too. She probably didn't know what to say either, and you made her laugh. And look, she's leaning in. Oh God, she's leaning in! Alright, you know what to do. You prepared for this plenty. Lean in, match her pace. Do not headbutt her. Put your hand on her head, face, neck, neck. Oh, fuck yeah. Good place for hand putting. You press her hit machine against your face box, or lip machine against your face box. Good, you think to yourself. This is all going perfectly. You're making out on the couch of her apartment in the middle of the night while Freddie Prinze Jr. screams, "I think Coolsville sucks!" in the background. You could not ask for a more normal setting for sex to happen. This is all very normal and sexy and cool, and you are very normal and sexy and cool. Oh, no need to downplay it. It's better than cool. It's me, your primordial sexual impulse. You forgot about me and all this excitement? Listen, broski, forget all the foreplay frontal lobe is trying to push on you. It's real simple. We want her, she wants us. I'll go ahead and get the southern blood pumping. Oh, slow down there, cowboy. We haven't even undressed yet. Sorry, I need water.
Oh, wow.
We haven't even undressed yet. We've come so far, the last thing we need is to unleash the Kraken prematurely. You're on pace. You're touching each other with your flesh claws. Your faces are smooshing. Clothes are coming off. She places her hand on your thigh. You place your hand on her breasts. Her milkers! You coward frontal lobe! You addressed those beautiful god-hunkalahoogs as God intended! Amidst the confusion, you singularly state the word milkers at room temperature volume. She laughs again and grabs your hand, pressing them towards her. Milkers. She stands from the couch and leads you to the bedroom. Thank the gods she appears to be sexually dominant. You're in no condition to be the sexual leader here. Besides, maybe your first time won't be a total nightmare like every one of your friends has always told you it would be if she's taking the lead, so to speak. You slump down on the bed. She climbs over you and reaches for her nightstand, grabbing a thin plastic wrapper. She opens it and removes the penis balloon. She hands it to you. Now, remember what you learned on the internet. Make the sombrero shape and roll it on. What if the condom is too small? Oh God, what if the condom is too big? You try to wrap it around your sex antenna and accidentally pull one end too far back, the condom whipping from your hands and into your face. Pain! Shake it off. Get the condom on. Almost there. Almost there. Perfect. You are ready to do sex. She sees it as well and takes hold of your disco stick. Time for sex. Huzzah! It's everything you ever imagined it to be. It's everything they said it would be. It's more. It's nothing like fucking a pie at all. Why did we allow ourselves to believe that for so long? Oh, bless the heavens. Please, sire, do not ever stop doing this. I can't go back now that I've got a taste. You try to look at her sides as she rides you, but you can't help but look at that. It's on her bedside table. That. You can't tell what exactly it is. That. A massive, bright pink dildo in the shape of a tentacle, complete with suckers and everything. Whoa! Disaster! Human catastrophe! It's got the suckers and everything, man! Stress center, how many times do I need to tell you not to hit the big red button? We're literally having sex, you oaf. You're really going to have a little mental sexual powwow with a tentacle dildo? Just enjoy the moment, for God's sake. If you overthink this, you're going to... too late. Hey yo, spinal cord here. We got ourselves a big fucking problemo, Holmes. My dick's not working no more. I'm pressing all the buttons, and all I'm getting is static. You realize that the spinal cord speaks the truth. Your wiener, still mid-sex, is beginning to become a wet noodle.
Send me to the gallows, sire. Words cannot convey the magnitude to which I have failed you.
I told you to let me take the wheel, man. Now look what's going on. You've got his dick all floppy. Now, here, in a few seconds, she's gonna be grinding on top of a melted popsicle. Everyone relax. Good grief. Did you have to stop to think that all this nonsense is the reason we can't focus? This is not game over. We've got a soft willy. Big deal. We just have to get back in the zone. We can do this. Just look at her. Look at her flesh container. Isn't it alluring? Doesn't it make your sexual parts tingle? No? Still nothing? We need time to build ourselves back up. Okay, game face. How do we stall for time this late in the game? You're lying on a bed and a naked woman is climbing over you. Think, what would Penis Pump 3000 on Reddit do? You try to change positions, and you move her waist closer to your face. 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards, I'm afraid. Sex was one thing, but you have literally no idea how to give head. Good God, you're going to fuck this all up. You were doing so well, and now you're going to fuck it up. Yeah, you are going to fuck this up. You're gonna fuck this shit way up. Tear up the mosh pit, motherfucker! Who cares whether or not you know how to give head? Amelia Earhart knew how to fly, and look where that got her. Just take a plunge, brother. Something the internet told you about. The internet never lies. You're the most hardcore sex doer in the goddamn universe, and you're gonna let her know it. After 30 seconds of the most hardcore tongue action your mouth machine can conjure, courtesy of the brainstem, your jaw is tired. But all is well. Your genitalia is back to full power. All right, back to business at long last. This time, you go on top. It's only fair, what with all the work she's put in so far. All right, remember your training. Work the hips. It's no different from pelvic exercises. She looks at you in the eye as you sex her. She places her hand around your neck. Is she trying to kiss you right now? After you just went down on her? Good grief, she's out of control. But of course, you have to oblige. Making out during sex sounds fucking rad. You lean in for the mid-sex smoosh sesh. Pain! You feel it again. A white-hot pain echoes through your forehead and reverberates into your skull. All thoughts of sexual ecstasy vanish for a moment, and the only thing you know is pain. What the hell? What was that? Spinal cord, what have you got? Cabezeza. We what? We headbutted her. We what? How hard? Like a light tap? More than a light tap. Is she bleeding? I'm just the spinal cord, Effie. You got the eyes. Right. She isn't bleeding. She doesn't look mad about it, so it can't have been that hard. Should we ask her? We should ask her, right? It'd be rude if we pretended like it didn't happen, right? Hippocampus, you've been uncharacteristically quiet. What do you think? In exactly 48,592 days, there will be nothing left in this place but the ruins of cities and the charred bones of nuclear fire. History will be over, and it will never come back. This dead rock will drift aimlessly among the cosmos until it hurls it into the sun. What is your finite love in matter in the face of the great and final death? Right, okay, I shouldn't have expected otherwise. Just ask her if she's okay. Place your hand gently on her head as you ask. She laughs and tells you it's fine. She's been laughing the whole night. You've been fucking everything up and she's done nothing but laugh it off and continue. Is it possible she's getting off on this? On your inexperience? No matter. You ask her if she wants to keep going. She smiles and nods. Finally, after a much-needed stretch of time, where the sex is all normal and you can stop freaking out over everything, the two of you are lying side by side on her bed, panting and out of breath. Hardcore!
said it, brainstem.
Breaking the tension, she asks about ordering pizza and staying the night. Good. She's not kicking you out right away. That means at the very least, that wasn't the worst sex of her entire life. Maybe top 10. But before you can respond, you realize that in your post-nut haze, you have literally no clue what kind of pizza you want. Okay, final chance to impress her. Just give a quick, cool, short answer. Don't ramble. Don't ask for round 2, baby! Don't ask her if she wants to do all the drugs. Don't ask her about the liberation of the working class. Just give a normal, unpretentious, but cool answer. You present a fool's grin and accompanying finger guns as, with a mock British accent, you half-heartedly blather out the words, pepperoni, baby!
Why do I feel like this is an adult version of that Pixar movie Inside?
Inside Out?
Yeah, that one. And why do I feel like I would actually pay to see that?
Oh, wow.
I'll be entirely honest. I want to see more of this poor bastard do things and have his brain yell at him.
It's funny you mentioned that. This was actually, I mentioned a couple days ago while we were doing our productivity chat that I had written a story as a writing prompt for our creative writing class. This was not that. I wrote a much shorter version of this idea where it's a guy in his brain. And then I just today I had the idea. I was like, what if I did this as an erotica? And that was that.
I loved it.
What a fucking amazing thing I've ever had to type. Not cinema didn't come.
I'll be honest. I was cringing so hard that I didn't laugh. Like, oh my god. The fact that you've written it in second person also, like, you started with the second person and I was immediately just like, oh no. Yeah, so that's why that's my score. Yeah, I don't have much more to elaborate on that.
Who was your favorite character, Alex? Because we have quite a few to pick from.
God, it was the fucking voice you did for the primordial sexual impulse, I think, is what got me. Yikes.
I didn't know this character, or I didn't know this protagonist's primordial sexual impulse sounded like a fucking old British lady.
It was giving me Tiptoe Through the Tulips vibes.
Oh god. Oh yeah.
Actually, you're not wrong. You're 100% right.
I know.
All right. I post next. Cringe. I wasn't cringing that much. I was just more really interested in the interplay between the characters, which I found really funny. Not like too much laugh out loud funny, but really funny, like, interaction wise. And once again, I'd love to see this as like Inside Out. Coitus. There was coitus, but described in such a way that it's like, it's not what I was focusing on. So not sexy, but also good. My favorite fucking speaker was, where is it? Spinal Cord. I love Spinal Cord's casual implication of, we just fucking headbutted her, guys. That was great. I love how very different each of the characters was as well. Yeah, that's me. Primordial Sexual Impulse was also Fantastic. There's a moment where you said rip and tear, and I was extremely concerned shit was about to get violent. Oh yeah, tear up this mosh pit, motherfucker. I have never thought that while going down on a girl, but sure. And I don't think I ever want to think that, but sure, go ahead. Brooke, I believe you sent in next.
Yeah, me. Cringe. Cringe and comedy pretty close because anything to do with like awkward sexual interactions is just very cringy from any kind of awkward interactions. I'm sitting there like, oh no. But it was still like funny enough that I wasn't just like, I want to read this. It's still like engaging, funny. And coitus like half because it's like it's happening in there. But yeah, like what Tyler said, no, it's not the focus. It's happening, and you know what's happening. But there's other things to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Also, tentacle dildo. Hell yeah!
Was that an intentional callback?
It's all connected, everyone.
These also click in the same universe, confirmed.
Yeah. Oh
god. Let's not start a multiverse project with this, please, or a single verse project, even.
Why not?
That's for
everyone in our universe is this bad at sex. How is the population not plummeted so drastically that we don't exist anymore?
No one ever said it. No one ever
the
said
the entire dependency on the world, Tyler, is not just dependent on these protagonists.
Now I want a story where it is actually. I want the huskily talking hero boy Barrett the Brave to walk around with a dirty typewriter, meet Kalani, an alien, and whoever the fuck this poor fool is, just having a conversation with himself. It's our new adventuring party.
I'm just saying, Barrett the Brave did make his partner come 3 times in like 5 minutes. So
the deep enders.
Oh no.
To mix yours and Brooks, Control Alt the Deep.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Dean.
The oysters didn't come. My God. Okay. So for Not Cinema Didn't Come, I was cringing the whole time. Like it's the hilarious kind of cringe because I'm like, oh bro, what are you doing? Just you really should have like emphasized the bad sex and the accidental sex headbutt. Okay, so that being said, just I love the interplay between like all of the different characters. My favorites, since we were talking about that earlier, was the stress center and the primordial sexual impulse. Big up on the on the different fonts, by the way. Not just different fonts, but the fucking different colors. That's so fucking funny.
I have a question before we continue. Did you format Painter the lines you needed, or did you actually have to switch your formatting every time you switched voices?
Oh, I switched my formatting every time. I like.
Oh my God. Oh,
dedication to the bit.
Yeah, this is amazing. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, that's on cringe. It was really, really, really good cringe. That being said, it was fucking hilarious too. I originally gave it a 5 out of 10, but then I changed my answer to a 7 out of 10 because it's just like, for something that must be one of the hardest events for this guy, unlike his dick at one point. It's just been so hilariously well done, going like switching from voices so casually. Like I love I love just how casually all of these voices swear. And just like they're so distinct too. I'm really fucking loving how you did like the protagonist is just some guy, frontal lobe, David Attenborough, primordial sexual impulse. That's probably like who's an old British actress? I don't know. Brainstem, it's some kid getting into metalcore for the first time. Stress center, me. Spinal cord, I have no idea. Nervous system, ow. The hippocampus, that Jesus fuck, that monologue that he had at the end. Holy shit. Yeah, so all of that. Oh, the poor guy. He headbutted the the girl that he was sleeping with. That hurt. So that being said, just all of that for that unfortunate circumstance, like, oy.
I have a question, Gabe.
Yeah.
Why is the hippocampus saying "I like you" at the start?
So the protagonist is trying to envision what he's going to say to her, and so and the hippocampus is like the dream center. So I was like, oh, the hippocampus, that's going to be like where he's going to be imagining.
I see
the words.
I see.
Alex, what did you?
Might I say I also love the descriptions.
Do you love what?
The descriptions at your dramatis personae.
Oh yeah,
a hole in the brain where anxiety lives. Couldn't have said it better.
The stress center in all caps, like short sentences, very good portrayal of anxiety. I really like that. Oh. Whoa, disaster, catastrophe. It's got the suckers and everything, man. I just send me to the gallows, sire. Words cannot convey the magnitude to which I have failed. Some of the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen.
Also, it's got the suckers and everything. That's definitely what Shay was saying when she watched From the Bushes.
It's got the suckers and everything, man.
Hell yeah. Listen, that's my kind of shit. Popping up again. Hell yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Wow. All right. So I think that's Gabe, is there any kind of like last minute comments you had for us, or
Brooke, I didn't get what your favorite character was?
Give me a second. Wait, give me a sec. Wait, get.
Hold on, she's hitting the beat here. We're gonna get like really recursive, and it's just gonna be nice.
Get. Hold on. Hey.
The screen's just gonna start slowly zooming in until you eventually get just one answer.
Wait, stress center.
Okay.
Stress.
Also, shout out to the frontal lobe for trying to hold this fucking cat show together.
Mm-hmm. Very elegant Times New Roman text.
It's not Times New Roman.
It's Garamond.
God, I'm embarrassed now.
Be shamed for your lack of knowledge on fonts.
I don't know fonts that well.
Call yourself a writer. Don't know fonts like the back of your own hand.
Disappointing.
I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay, so is that all you wanted to ask, Gabe?
That's all.
All right. So I'm just gonna do a quick thing on OBS here. So that was the main reading, everyone. If you're still here, holy shit, what do you think? It was a lot. I know it must have been a lot. So I think since we're mostly all out of stories, and hang on to that mostly, before we start signing off, let's do one final thing. The entire night we had been keeping a track of our scores, or at least, we had been each writing down our scores for for how we all thought. Let's now take a few minutes to just tally up everything. So account for the cringe and the comedy, and then deduct whatever thing, and then deduct the appropriate amount of coitus points. I think, what is it, Tyler? Do you want it to be the highest number at the end of it wins?
Yeah, I think highest number, average of the 4 scores from each of the different people.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to run that math, or do you want me to pound it out quickly on the calculator?
I would rather you did it. I can't do math.
I can do my own.
I can do my own.
I think I can do my own, unless I am an idiot, which I am, but I'll try.
Were you going to say something anti-union, Dean?
No. Tisea and Vilgefortz having something.
Sky didn't die and make Victor break out his Hoover vacuum for you to call her the girl who turned to ash. Because this game was made by a man.
I'm signing out of the Cowboy episode. Good night.
Velvet wrapped steel of them and.
Speaking of the CW,
oh no!
Fuck everything that they've done.
How did this get so popular?
Dean's publicly stated that he thinks he could take The Rock in a fight, and I would love to see him try. Big robot.
And I'm taking Tyler with me.
Oh, excuse you.
I brought you to this podcast. I can take you out.
All right. So I'll flash up the numbers right now on screen for everyone to see, but for all audio listeners too. So Brooke has a score of 8. Gabe has a score of 10. Tyler has a score of 6.25. Alex has a score of 11.25. And I have a score of 10.5. So that means the winner of this bad erotica competition was Alex, with I hate everything, or I hate every sentence in this / adventures in the Wet Clam Tavern.
Woo!
Bravo. Suck it right in the
admit, I was not expecting this.
Amazing.
Bravo.
I'm glad that you guys thought it was so funny, though.
Solid on the cringe, solid on the comedy.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god. Fantastic. Oh,
We'll
that
see
was
about finding a dollar store trophy to beat you over the head with later.
Are there runner-up prizes, Tyler? Or
you just get hit with the same trophy, but Alex gets to keep it.
Do I
It counts as a murder weapon after that.
Okay. So everyone good with where they think? Everyone good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess then, with all of that being said, and we now know who won, thank you, everybody, for listening in. We're going to start signing off now. So, quick thing before we do, everyone give Alex some applause.
You don't
everyone
have
listening
to do that.
Yay! You won! You won, my dude.
Take your shame appropriately.
Fine, thank you. Thank you. I'll never write anything else like that. So enjoy it while you got it.
It's you don't have to. This is what you wrote is immortalized on the internet.
Once again, congratulations.
Amazing. All right. So since we're closing off now, everybody, thank you all for listening in. You can find all of us at the Ink Guild on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, as well as on Tumblr too. If you want to find all of us on our thing, if you want to connect with us all individually, our social media is provided in the description below, as well as in the homepage on Spotify. But if you do want, if you want, you can also connect with us on our Wix site, wherein you can find all of our individual social media as well as collectively and everything that we've done up so far. You can also start going through all of the podcasts now available on our YouTube channel as well as Spotify. And if you want to catch up on this podcast, or you want to catch up on older podcasts, you can check out the Shorthand series, where I clip together some favorite moments from the channels or from the podcasts. That being said, then, for a closing segment, actually, no, I'm kind of rushing ahead. So thank you everyone for listening in on season 6. We hope you've enjoyed. And for a closing segment, we have one final thing to share with everyone. It is Gabe's original bad erotica that he stopped writing for in place for what he eventually ended up submitting. And he was, I don't know if it was comfortable, he was forced into reading it, into reading this too.
Forced is a strong word.
He was asked to. Compelled, yeah. So for our closing segment, we are now going to explore Mouthful Mode.
Okay.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
This is Mouthful Mode. A quick content warning. This erotica contains sexually explicit descriptions of Kirby. Proceed at your own psychological and emotional risk. This erotica contains explicit descriptions of sex, alcohol use, vor, and several instances of the suffix "ussy." The following erotica is a parody and is explicitly intended for comedic purposes. Under fair use laws, the use of copyrighted characters' names for the purpose of parody satire is allowed. Fuck you, Nintendo. Suck my dick. Kiss my ass. Love you, Sakurai. It had been 3 hours since Kirby and Bandana D's disastrous breakup. In the eve of the late night evening, Kirby had arrived at their shared dwelling place when Kirby discovered Bandana D cradled in Donkey Kong's muscular, rippled arms. A thick sheen of monkey moisture coated Bandana D. Kirby shouted at the two of them. Donkey Kong screamed monkily and ran to the window, slipping on a mass of banana peels that are not sexual euphemisms and are just banana peels. Kirby, this is not what it looks like! But it was too late. Kirby was leaving for the door. Bandana D cried tears as Kirby exited stage right and entered the red vehicle car. Kirby drove to the building of alcohol. Kirby stepped into the bar, tears flowing from their eyes, and took a seat at the bar. Hi. Kirby chirped as they waved to the bartender. The tall, thin, but muscular Japanese man turned around. Kirby gasped in surprise as Kazuma Kiryu, the dragon of Dojima clan from Yakuza franchise, turned around, a bottle of an alcohol in hand. Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza franchise. What are you doing here? Kirby said in shocked surprise. Kiryu nodded. Minigame, Kiryu said handsomely. The Yakuza games are known for their comical minigames, which I'm only explaining because I know none of you guys have played it. I just don't want it to seem like I'm making an in-joke that I'm not including everyone in. Wow, incredible. Kazuma Kiryu, Kirby said, and immediately felt a palpable electric sexual chemistry between them and Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza franchise. Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza franchise. May I be Frank? Kirby asked. Who is Frank? I want you, Kiryu. Let's do sex and have it. Sex? Kiryu asked. Yes, I want to do it. I want to do sex. I want you to do sex on me. You, sexy man, do sex on me, please. Sex. Is this a minigame? Kiryu asked. Yes. In one quick, masculine, and handsome motion, Kiryu unbuttoned his dress shirt and removed both it and his silver blazer, throwing both to the wind with sexy and cool disregard for things and stuff. Sex! Kiryu shouted in Japanese. And Kirby made their way up to the stairs to find the Hotel of Love. They entered the hotel room, and there was a bed in the shape of a heart. Kirby and Kiryu passionately smashed faces and laid down on the bed, with Kirby on the top. Kirby, Kiryu said in a normal tone of voice as Kirby climbed on top and undressed their Kirby clothes and revealed their Kirby toes. I don't have a foot fetish, so this is the last you'll hear of this. Kirby climbed over Kiryu's face, and Kiryu got a faceful of the Kirbussy.
No!
What part is the Kirbussy? The Kirby mouth? Or something more mysterious? We will never know. Then, Kirby returned the favor and inhaled specifically on the Pinor. Kiryu moaned in yes. The time had come. Kirby and Kiryu had the sex now. Kiryu penetrated Kurbo with the Dragon of Dojima somewhere. I'm not sure where. The Kirbussy, probably. This was a better sex than Kirby had ever been given by Bandana D. Bandana D is bad at sex, but Kazuma Kiryu from the Yakuza franchise is very good, and does the sex good. Great even. Kiryu cummed hard, but his cum was a normal one. He's a normal guy. Well, he's not normal. He is the Dragon of Dojima clan. But that being said, he is still just being of a normal man. Kirby, however, does not. And Kirby comes big. When Kirby comes, it's a disaster. Kirby had never come before, never been made to come by Bandana D. A bad sex haver. Kiryu, good sex haver. Kirby nutted a bust. But, oh no, Kirby nut bust. Danger, danger, dangerous coup. As Kirby coup, they entered Mouthful Mode. The bed, absorbed. The lights, absorbed. Kiryu himself, you bet your bottom dollar. Kiryu is vored deliciously. Not eaten, but absorbed by the Kirby vor machine. Kirby goes full Mouthful Mode on the Kiryu and wraps himself around Kiryu's flesh box. It's very bad and yucky. Eventually, Kiryu is spitted, but he's been sucked dry. Wheezing, panting, covered in cum, Kiryu lies exhausted on the Love Hotel's moist floors. Kirby turns around and reveals they have absorbed Kiryu's abilities. Kirby now has the physical properties of a mid-40s Japanese man. Kiryu Kirby, now known as Kirbu, promptly left the hotel room, leaving their sexual conquest there in post-nut post-vor ecstasy. Kirby approaches the bar, where they see at the bar the new barkeep. It's Lady Domitresque from Resident Evil.
Oh my
series.
god.
Mommy milk.
Oh.
Kirby walks up to the bar. Pollo, can I get a caramel macchiato with breast milk? Sorry, breast milk. Sorry, breast milk. Sorry, breast milk. Sorry, breast milk. Sorry, can I get breast milk? Breast milk? Breast milk? Sorry, can I get breast milk? Can I get a breast milk? Sorry, breast milk. Breast milk. Sorry, breast milk. The end.
Why did you change your mind about this?
Oh my fucking god!
Mommy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Mommy?
Gabe.
That was all the memes ever. Yeah.
Can we rank this one too?
We might as well.
10
Cringe.
out of 10. 10 out of 10. Ah.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna rank this.
While I was typing, I'm gonna get some more water. That hurt my thrusty.
Stop!
Stop it!
Gabe.
Without swallowing. Ow! My jaw.
Are you okay?
My jaw hurts from laughing.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Good.
All right, so let's talk about it.
This is like Shadow over Arendelle or like My Immortal levels of amazing fanfic writing.
So he just ends.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have to say about it. Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, I'll second everything that Alex said. Jesus, I absolutely need to draw attention to the fact that so much of the text is just completely broken. Like you included in a more than 3 the like Comic Sans text.
Like I said, very, very classic bad fan fiction.
Yeah.
Like you nailed the aesthetic.
Yeah. The Comic Sans definitely helps. The fucking pink Mouthful Mode text. This sucked. The commas. I love the self-awareness too. Like fucking I don't have a foot fetish, so this is the last you'll hear of this. Like I know you're writing this to us, but like
Yeah, I feel both personally attacked and personally addressed.
I love too, like this whole inner monologue on on page 2. The Yakuza games are known for their comical amount of mini games, which I'm only explaining because I know none of you guys have played it. I just don't want it to seem like I'm making an in joke that I'm not including everyone in. Amazing. Oh, so funny. That's so cringe. The comedy too, fucking hilarious. There was sex. A lot of capitals in said sex. But yeah. All right, that's it for me.
So like personally, this doesn't necessarily make me cringe, but me and Gabe are kind of from the same part of the internet, so I just kind of expected it. I'll be honest. Comedy, fantastic. You have perfectly emulated what I know you set out to emulate. I still want to see fan art of this. That'd be great.
Why?
I don't.
Right. How dare you include that reference about not getting the Yakuza games? Like I wouldn't understand them. Again, I feel personally addressed, so I have to take this all personally. How dare?
No.
And the sex was Kiryu says it best. Sex shouted in Japanese. There's my review.
Brooke?
What did you think?
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Pussy.
Pussy.
Pussy. Yeah, awful, hilarious, bad, very bad, very good, very bad, very bad, good, very bad, good, 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 bad. I'm broken now. Not really sex, even though sex, not sex.
Oh god, dude.
Sex in Japanese.
Pussy.
I feel like it would have been oh, well, I have a message from Crackbot. I've been unexpectedly disconnected. If you want me to stop recording, please commit. Amazing. You know what? Maybe Crackbot's had enough.
Fair.
Your son is done with you, Gabe.
Fuck.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I think if Crackbot's had enough, then maybe we can all take a rest now. So, let's just call it for tonight. So, yes, with all of that being said, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you've enjoyed season 6 of the InkGuild podcast, and we will all see you soon for season 7. So, thanks for listening, everyone. Have a good night, or whatever time in the day it is for you. So, bye.
Goodbye.
Or at least nightmares.
Bye.
Girls.